Welcome to the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. Today's episode is, I guess, a bit of a bonus episode. It's going to be short and sweet, I think. I was actually going to take a break and publish an episode next week. That would be episode 60. And I was doing that for several reasons, but I've been getting lots of questions about what Savvy Shopkeeper offers beyond the podcast. So I thought I'd record an episode to explain it all. But then I kept getting stuck on the fact that it would feel like such a sales pitch. As business owners, especially running an online business like Savvy Shopkeeper, where I don't get to see or meet many of you in person, it can all feel really impersonal. The closest thing I get to personal connection is when I teach live in the lab, and I love doing that, and when we have group calls in Master Shopkeepers. Especially since the pandemic started and I can't host in-person workshops or happy hours, or I can't plan the retreat and conference that I've always dreamed about. I couldn't find the right words to record this podcast episode about what Savvy Shopkeeper offers beyond the podcast. I even had a conversation about it with a biz bestie, and I still struggled with it. So I walked away. And my sister and I often joke in our store when we're working on furniture projects that if there's a piece of furniture that's causing us angst and trouble, we look at each other and we say, I'm just walking away. And that's what I did with this podcast episode. And then a couple hours later, I received a personal message on Facebook. And although I did receive permission to share this message from the person who sent it to me, I just want to say that it is about cancer and it mentions other group members. So I'm going to use fictitious names. I know that sounds so funny, but I am. Because I want to protect their privacy. And what's important really is what she said in the message. So I'm going to share. Hello, ladies. I hope you are each having a great day. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to each of you, and now you may be wondering why. I'm also not one to share this level of detail publicly, so that is why I chose this method. We all have a connection through Kathy and Savvy Shopkeeper's Lab. Kathy, I appreciate all the time, energy, and expertise you invest in the group and each of us. Truly, you are one of a kind. Here is how you each connect the dots for me, and sometimes in life it's important to let people know how they touched your life when they may not be aware. Victoria, a couple of years ago, and Victoria, obviously, I want to just mention is a fictitious name. A couple of years ago, somewhere, I came across an article about you and your beautiful shop. I found your journey to opening your shop heart-filled and lovely. I believe you mentioned Savvy Shopkeeper in the article, and I was so excited about the group, I knew I had to join. Kathy, I've learned a lot from you and the group and have been connected to some great people and products, like yours, Jackie. Our customers absolutely love your handmade products. And here's the rest of the story through the trail to Jackie. It was something beautiful. Jackie, you've shared your story on social media in a genuine and impactful way. It was something I always remembered. In November, I received my own diagnosis, and there were times when I would recall a post you made about your own journey, as each of our journeys are different. And you were an inspiration to me and to share my journey with others and how early detection helps. You were one of the people that gave me the courage to share my story. Kathy, many things you taught over the years, I was able to implement so that while in the middle of fourth quarter and receiving this news, I was able to have surgery and treatment and still have a successful December with others taking care of the boutique for me. Thank goodness for all the preparation tips you have shared and I was able to implement. As I circle back to my main reason of this message, thank you, ladies, for the impact you've had on my life. And it all started with reading an article about you, Victoria. Sometimes in life, we just don't know how our genuine ways and everyday kindness impact others. And today I wanted to let you know and say thank you. Now, I'll admit, that was the end of the message. I'll admit that I cried after I read this. Sometimes you do things in business and in life and you just have no idea the impact you have on people. I receive lots of messages, emails. I see so many comments and feedback about Savvy Shopkeeper, but I have to say that this is one of the most impactful I've ever received. This message stripped me of the feeling that recording this particular podcast episode was like strictly business. I realized that what I have created in the Savvy Shopkeeper brand is so much more than that. Savvy Shopkeeper it's education, it's resources, tools, and it is sprinkled with a little tough love. But most importantly, what she taught me is that it's community and connection. And that's why I built this. If you know me well, and some of you do, you know that I genuinely want shopkeepers to sign up for something that I offer because they truly believe it or I can help them live a better life and have a better business. It really is that simple. And my explanation for what Savvy Shopkeeper offers beyond the podcast, I realize this, it should be simple too. So I decided just to break it down here. If you visit the Savvy Shopkeeper website, you'll learn about the brand, the podcast, and you'll see some blog posts, and you'll see all of the episodes broken down into show notes. You can even listen to the podcast on the website. But if you're a shopkeeper who genuinely wants to start becoming a better business owner, who wants to be surrounded by other shopkeepers, who wants to learn, and who wants to help others and be supported in return, then you'll head over to the online academy I built just for shopkeepers, and that's Shopkeepers Academy. It's literally like school for retail business owners. And then once you go to the academy, what I tell people is you just choose your classroom. So these are the 3 different classrooms, and right now there might be more classrooms, or in the future there might be more classrooms, but for now there's 3. One is the lab, and this is for all types of shopkeepers. You get access to the lab Facebook group and the lab itself, and this is what the person messaged me about. She's in the lab. And you get access to this vault of information. It's filled with lessons and downloads and resources, and it's categorized by topic. And if you're just starting or you're a really good self-learner, this is a great option for you. The next classroom is Master Shopkeepers. Now, if you're a brick and mortar store owner, you get access to everything in the lab and another private Facebook group that's filled with master classes just for brick and mortar store owners. There are over 33 master classes, and yes, that's a lot of information, but it's the bond in this group that's particularly special. I only open this group to new members 3 times per year because it does have territory protection, and it takes a pretty big effort for my virtual assistant and I to do this, to bring new members in. We have a whole process. We have them fill out a couple of forms so we get to know them better. They book a one-on-one call with me so that I can get to know them better. It is a process. So we only open this to new members 3 times a year, and I just want to make sure that I mention it is open. The application is open now until February 15th. And that's 2021, in case you're listening to this down the road. And then the last classroom, I could say, I guess, the last option in the Shopkeepers Academy is to work one-on-one with me. If you're stuck, whether it's managing your schedule in life, if you need a plan and you really need some accountability, if you're truly trying to understand what's going on in your business and in the financials, and you want to know how to turn it around or how to grow, then coaching is for you. And that's, I guess we could say, the last classroom number 3. I find that shopkeepers tend to overthink this when they get into the academy. And I just want to say, don't overthink it. None of it's a scam. I promise you that. And none of it is a long-term commitment. You can even move from one level to the next. So I often see lab members move into master shopkeepers. And yes, I'll cancel your lab membership. Not a big deal. And then master shopkeepers who continue in the group and book me for one-on-one coaching. And I have some people who just come directly to me for one-on-one coaching. You know what's best for you. If you feel a tug and pull to be part of this, then just choose one and move from there. I built the Academy from nothing, like seriously nothing. I built it from years of hard work, a ton of reading, a boatload of research. I have spreadsheets filled with ideas, and the Master Shopkeepers members will laugh at me because I have Trello boards filled with retail lessons and more ideas. I've maxed out my Google Drive at least once, and there's so much more to this. But I built it because I couldn't be more passionate about wanting to see retail business owners succeed, profit, pay themselves, and be happy, like genuinely happy. In return, I'm really happy to say that both of the shopkeepers that were mentioned in the message a few minutes ago are doing well and they continue to heal. What this shopkeeper and her message reminded me of, and it was so important, and I lost sight of it, and shame on me for losing sight of that, was the power of connection. It's so important, and what is happening in the Savvy Shopkeeper communities is damn special, and I'm not going to apologize for that. And I certainly shouldn't be afraid to share that or what I've built and what I offer. I hope you all have a great weekend. I'll be back next week with episode number 60, where I'll be sharing what helped shopkeepers succeed in 2020. This is going to be a good one, and it's going to be really interesting because it's so different from the episode I recorded where shopkeepers shared what made them successful in 2019. I mean, they couldn't be more different. But if you want to check out either of the websites I mentioned in this episode, it's super easy. SavvyShopkeeper.com is the website where most people learn about me, learn about the brand, and learn about what else they can do from there. And if you want to visit the Academy, that's shopkeepersacademy.com. We'll have it linked in the podcast episode description, so it's easy for you to click. And in the meantime, you know how I like to end this. Be savvy and boss up.